Join us every week for coaching and Q&A. You'll learn how to get more listings signed and sold following the simple and fun easy listing method. Plus, find hidden gem tips and get motivated as you surround yourself with like-minded peers in this weekly mastermind. Let's jump in.
Hey, Trevor! Holy moly!
Happy New Year!
It's
a new year.
You.
Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. I can't get this video to work. There we go.
Man.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah,
I've got a
looks
listing
like
that's
you
going to
live
go live
south
this
of
week.
woods or something.
Well, it's a little
Trevor.
snowy. If you can see.
That's nothing.
No, it's just starting. But I got a listing to go live this week, so I'm ready. We use me as a guinea pig. I'll go right through the beginning of it. I haven't even signed any papers or anything yet. So sometime this week we'll get together and go through the whole thing. We'll record it.
So Peter's in Las Vegas. You remember Mike Nicolai? He's in Arizona.
Sure.
John Froelich is ahead of our new sales department.
What's
He's
up,
the
John?
auctioneer guy that if you guys know anything about our platform, he explained why we are not an auction. From an auction, how long you had your auctioneer license, John?
15 years.
15 years. And so he joined the platform a little while ago and was going to utilize it. And, when they didn't want to do auctions, he could bring them into this or vice versa. He has now left the auction business, come work with us.
All right.
We are putting together a dream team, you guys, of executives to take this company to the next level on there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start talking about, is there anybody here that has too many listings?
Not currently.
Is there anybody here that's lazy and doesn't want to go out and chase listings?
Yeah,
If I showed you a way to get 5 to 15 listings a month, regardless of what it took, would you go out and do it?
do it.
How about you, Peter?
Yes.
Got the energy?
I don't have to get naked, do I?
I don't care. I'll do
I don't
that
think that's
too.
going to get you 5 to 15, buddy.
I know. I'll scare them all away.
It'll get you 5 to 15. All right.
Right.
Meet some newfound friends.
So I am going to send this to everybody. In fact, you know what I'll do? I'll just download it into the, let me stop sharing. Let me download it into the chat. If you guys want to go ahead and download that into your computer, once it gets downloaded into there, and then we'll go over it together when that happens.
Hey, Robert, on page 33 of Greens to Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working it.
Cool. Well, I got a brand, the actual, it's going to be published. So that's the sloppy version. Sorry, but the new one will be done by, well, it's supposed to be done tomorrow, but anyway, they've been pushing me off. So, all right. So all you guys have gone through the 15-minute orientation. That's where I show you how to put that stuff, where to find it, and then make sure that you get your name onto the listing map. The training, I am doing twice a week. And if you guys want me to start a class for you, I would be happy to do so. But I want you to take a look through this. This kind of tells you what you're going to be doing. So we do a 2-hour training. And then when I say there's 2 hours of homework, the 2 hours of homework is for you to develop content and for you to actually start sending out ads. I show you the way to do it cheap. I show you everything with a twist inside there. And the people, the agents that follow this thing and do, nobody does. I ask you to do 100 new prospecting a month. The agents that do that are getting anywhere after 3 months, they're averaging 10 to 15 listings a month because they keep filling this pipeline. Because we're doing things with a twist, even to the point where the sellers feel indebted to us, where they need to give us a listing or they need to give us somebody to list a home to. So we've been doing this training now for two brand new agents, kind of, like you guys down here, and I'm going to show you. I'll share again. Okay, you see these two homes right here? Did everybody see the mobile home and then the one home on the big green belt?
Yep.
That's an agent that did this. He's in his 4th training. He's already putting 2 listings on a platform. I am telling you, if you guys put the time and effort into it, he's a fairly new agent. So he's been an agent for about 9 months. And all of a sudden, so we are actually creating ads together. We're creating letters together. We're creating everything that you need together to get into business. That syllabus that I just sent you, it's still being fine-tuned as we go through the classes. But if you guys just one-on-one email me, call me, text me, and say, yeah, I want to be a part of the next one. We have a new group starting this week, and I would love to get you in it. All right, but take a look at that because it entails a little bit of work, but this will make you a top 10% agent in this crazy world that we live in. Do you guys have any questions on that syllabus?
What times are the trainings, the classes?
I work it out. We'll just figure out a time together, Trevor, all of us, when we decide on. I just don't want to do a one-on-one. I've got too many people we're trying to get trained, so I'm trying to get it to 5 people in each group.
Well, I'm always pretty open before 2 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
Monday through Friday, I'm pretty much.
All right, just do me a favor and send that to me in an email.
Yeah, I will.
Nikolai, I would recommend you, and Pete, I'd recommend you guys do the same thing because
I just did, Robert.
let me know your schedules, and I'll get you guys started this week.
I will be there no matter what time you say, Robert. I'm doing it.
Okay, cool. Any questions on the syllabus?
I haven't read it all yet, but it looks amazing. Same thing you told me about a little bit last week, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I'm in.
Yeah. And I'm just telling you, the mail merge programs, there's maybe a 0.5% of agents that even know how to do that. It just simplifies your life. And it makes it so simple to send stuff out and cheaper to send it out than doing it on your own. And we're going to be learning how to do all of that stuff together. And we're going to be creating content together.
Are you using that direct mail service the post office has?
We'll be talking about that too.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good way to farm a neighborhood. Are there any other questions I can answer for you guys? Is there anything that you want specifically to talk about?
I got one. What is your response to, well, this all looks well and good and all that, but what happens if it doesn't work?
Well, the first thing I'll say, well, that's a great question. Why are you asking me that?
Simply because if it doesn't work, I want to know what the next step is.
Oh, okay. When what doesn't work?
Your easy listing platform.
And that's where we go back into and we talk to them about the processes and the pricing the home right. But that's a great question. So if it doesn't work, it means that we either miss the mark on price, or that's when you start talking about a bucket pool. We got to price the home right. That's the first key. There's more inventory right now than there are buyers. So we have to be smarter than every other agent that is walking in there, listening to the homeowner and sticking a price on the home that's not going to sell. The beauty of the buyer's premium with the buyer paying the commission. I get to lower the home down anywhere from 10 to 15 to 20% below market value. Right?
Yep.
And if we do that right, Mr. Seller, together, we've already agreed that we would get how many owners to come look at the home. So where doesn't the theory work all the time? So that home that we put on the dash point home that we put onto the market, I had 100% a buyer pool available to me. And another, it wasn't a 55 and older senior neighborhood. There was no homeowners association. There was no whatever else you can think of. So let's talk about a 55 and older neighborhood. When I have a regular house that anybody can buy, I have 100% of the buyer pool. What happens when I try to sell a home inside of a 55 plus neighborhood?
You just cut out 25 or 75% of your buyers.
So when I have that, now that may be when that happens, Michael. Now we come back on to what separates us is the marketing part of it. One of the things I do for my homes that don't sell inside of that first 5 days is I will start marketing your property through social media. And by the way, this course, I'm a master certified agent, and part of that was making me a master social media marketer. Do you guys remember the story of the last 4 homes that I sold where I didn't have 100% bucket pool? All the homes were over $1.4 million. When we take an average price of $600,000, now we got a listing of 1.4 million. What size is that bucket pool?
Yeah, very small.
What do I do for those things? I go ahead and I do reach ads, video view ads, and YouTube ads. I spend $600. You guys can spend whatever you want. You spend $30, doesn't matter. 10, 10, and 10 to get started. But what happens is when we do that, the advertising outside of the MLS influence, so we're syndicated to places for the first 3 days, right? Where it's pushing out, the MLS is pushing out our listing to other sites.
Right.
So now what I'm doing is I am looking for Facebook and YouTube to tell me I want to target people that are looking for homes anywhere in the USA. Trevor, you get a kick out of this one. Had a home that was listed with a Remax owner agent for $999,000 and couldn't sell it. We took the home, staged it, and did some other things to it, put at 1.25 million. A couple in Vermont paid 1.45 million on it without even coming into the house. They
That's
found
gross.
that house on
Staging.
Facebook. They sent their realtor out to look to make sure it was real. They did an inspection on the property, and lo and behold, the thing was sold. Did not happen inside of our MLS. It was a couple from Vermont that bought it. So we've got to be able to do things outside of the box and go on. So the answer to it, Michael, is, well, it doesn't happen very often to me. If Mr. Seller, if you really understood how to price this home to get buyers to come through it, we're not going to have that problem. But
Okay.
inside these bucket pools, but if I do, because it just, if I have a home listed at $100,000 and not one person shows up, what is that saying?
Price is too high.
Price too high, or market conditions always prevail, right? And in other words, there was a home in Florida that I talk about. That agents are, Robert, it's priced right. I'm telling you, this big, beautiful, like 3,500 square foot home with a pool, RV parking, driveway, 3-car garage. And he's got this thing priced at, like $450,000. But he goes, man, nobody's looking at it. And I said, yeah, I said, okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to send this to another agent in your area, and I'm going to have them do a CMA for me, and I'm going to ask them why they wouldn't go look at it. They do the CMA. Price was right. Absolutely. The closest school and grocery store was 50 miles from the property. So all of that stuff we have to know beforehand. And we have to set the seller up right beforehand. Because that 50 mile and out, that bucket pool, what do you think that bucket pool was? Like 10%?
Yeah, maybe.
So, and that's where we got to be able to separate ourselves and put our money where our mouth is and go above and beyond for the seller. But if you guys do the listing present, I mean, like I say, my story is still my listing presentation. I'm going back out to Seattle. I got 4 more listings that I picked up. And I did all of my listing presentations over Zoom. The story, because they can't refute what it does. But when it doesn't work, Mr. Seller, if you happen to be the one that market conditions prevail and something happened, guess what? The great news is I'll get people to come look at your house. I can't make them buy it though. But I will know why they're not buying it, and then we can do what we need to do to sell your home. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
My job, Mr. Seller, is to get buyers into your home. And you know what? That happens every time I list a home. Period. So
I've got a listing presentation next week for a 55 plus trailer. Be about 250, 300,000. Any nuggets of advice on that? Say, just do the thing, right?
listen, you have the world at your fingertips with this new millennial NAR, post NAR BS that unfortunately has happened. That transparency is what NAR was really asking for. Transparency. All the other crap is minutia. So, well, you know what? We've always been the most transparent. We have no hidden agendas. Buyers come to our site and their agents get paid. Buyers' agents, because they're not getting paid anymore by you, Mr. Seller. You know, or you can still fight your way around it, but you know what? At some point, they're going to take that away. So you got to come back to taking ownership of the platform and what's remember the with them, what's in it for me.
Right.
So as a seller, what's that program? What's in it for him? What's in it for them? If you take them through my story and my listing presentation, you guys, it wipes out 98% of objections. And when you can tell a story about the owner of the company getting back in the real estate business because things were kind of going cattywampus with this NAR, everybody's messed up in the head on it. So I started doing them again. I'm getting listings without a problem by doing the marketing that I'm going to ask you guys to do. I got 4 while I'm in Cleveland, 4 more listings in the Seattle area. And by making phone calls, not even going and seeing them in person. I'm 4 out of 4. But I'm passionate about what I believe. I know the benefits. I know what the benefit is for the seller. I know what the benefit is for the listing company. I know what the benefit is for the buyer's agent. I know what the benefit is for the buyer. Remember that open house that Mona did. What everybody loved it, there were no hidden agendas. When you're talking to buyers, when you get a listing, and they start bringing, you don't have to worry about that. Look at the price. If you want to make a higher offer, do it. If you don't. We have no hidden agendas. The site is letting you see you control your destiny. And very first time when Mona did, she did it the week before Columbus Day, or during Columbus was Monday. Columbus Day was on Monday. We started on Thursday. We were in contract on Tuesday. We would have been in contract on Monday, but Columbus Day, the banks are closed. We carried it over to Tuesday. 103 people in the open house. Leads.
Yeah.
If you go ahead, Trevor.
Well, I got one to list this week. I haven't signed any paperwork yet or anything. I'm ready to go on that one. Their sellers are is a builder. He's bought in on it already. He's ready to go. This is great.
So, price. You should know the story ad nauseum by now.
Oh yeah.
Show them the paperwork. Prove it to them. Hey, Mr. Seller, this is how it works. And and again, tie it. Yeah, so, anyways, but
Yeah.
you guys, we own this. You know what separates us from everybody else? The transparency and the no hidden agenda. Everybody with our product wins.
Well, this will be the first one in the state of Vermont. So the last one didn't work so well because it was a bad time
What are
and
you doing
the sellers
your,
were messed up. But we
have you
killed
done the listing presentation, Trevor?
it. Yeah, all done already. The comps
Okay.
out at 445. We're gonna list it at 410.
Perfect. All right. If you need help with anything, you guys know. If you need help with anything, any of us can answer the phone for you.
I just want I just don't. I guess would I have to have the EZ addendum signed by the seller to
Yep.
download that?
Yeah. Yeah. I need you want to do option number 1 on the new addendum. You got that one, right?
I don't know. It's in probably the thing I just logged into, right?
Well, if you go into the course handouts, it's in there. So download it, and that's option number 1 is we've got some time left. You guys want me to go through the addendum with you?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Wahoo! All right, so can you guys see this?
Yeah, where do I find? So I'm in the page of the core. Where do I find that?
Oh, we'll go
exactly?
into a minute and I'll show
Okay.
you where to find it. I'm
Cool.
actually making a change on this, Trevor. So I'll send you over the new one when I get it.
All right.
But basically here we have 3 different options for the seller to accept. Okay. So option number 1 is with a full buyer's premium. Seller's not paying the commission. You guys, this is the way we've done business for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
There should be no questions on option number 1. So that's when we come down to it. We check the mark, option number 1. The whole buyer premium shall be 6%. And then you have the easy fee of the 1%. So I go 2.5. Oops. Five. Come down here. Seller reserves the right to accept price. What's your price going to be, Trevor?
440. Well, that's the comp price. So we're going in at 410.
1,625. So you fill that out and then you get the signatures signed down here. Okay, so that's option number 1. Option number 2, that means seller is paying both sides of the transaction. Okay, so he says, you know what, Trevor, I'm going to pay you 6%. And you split it how you want to split it, knowing that you are going to pay the 1% easy fee. Or you get the seller even to pay the 1%, however you want to do it. I don't care, but let's say that you're controlling it. If this were mine, I'd go 3.5, 2.5. And why do I lower it down for the buyer's agent? Because I'm paying that
1% 's coming
1%.
out of mine.
Right.
Yeah,
And
1%.
we've got agents. Donnie Bennett is doing like 4.5 and 1.5 because he knows he can get away with it now because he knows these guys are going to get paid. So you can do this however you want to do it, right? So that's option 2, is doing it in a traditional fashion. Option number 3 is
Robert?
what this, yeah.
Can I interrupt you? Why, given the entire concept behind the Easy platform, why does somebody want to still go with option 2? Why would they want the liability of them paying the commission?
There are just when the NAR settlement came up, I had an attorney draft this up, Peter. And basically what we're doing is giving the 3 options, but by having it all disclosed and by having it disclosed in this fashion and with the Trevor,
keeps
what do
you
we call
clean.
it? What's that?
It's just that it keeps your nose clean and you're
Keeps
showing
there.
up.
It's more. What did they want? They wanted more disclosures.
So
So-
what percentage do you think, roughly, if you've got an idea, out of all the deals you see coming through the door, how many agents end up with a client selecting option 2?
I'm the only one's done it so far.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and the reason why, and I
why?
did this
Was the
before.
client just like so old school?
No, I did. This was before the NAR settlement. What I did is the clients were old school, and I did it for the transparency. Just even by putting it on the in a hot market, we were in a hot market. By putting it on the site instead of doing the highest and best crap and hiding everything, I put it on
Yeah.
the site traditional,
Okay.
and we were letting the price run up 20-30% above market value. But it's an
You know,
option.
I was going to ask you later, but I'll present it in front of this small crowd.
Sure.
So we're going on the hopes that we're going to see a really awesome bidding war and see price really escalates. How concerned are you that now we can't, especially if it's not an all cash buyer, that it will fund, that a lender will loan that value, that an appraiser is going to come in and appraise this house that was market value at 400, you started at 370, whatever, and now you're at 440.
Well, let me ask you this, Peter. That's a great question, and I get asked it quite a bit, especially in a hot market.
Because that's a scary side to me, and let alone I don't trust the appraisers, but the reality is if they don't come in at 440, what's the buyer going to do for the difference in money if they still
Well,
want
let's
the
talk about
house?
that.
You got to price it right first.
I have a home that's priced right, and I'm going to use this home in Dash Point. 103 buyers came through the open house. We had 17 people send in pre-qualification letters. And then we had 9 of them bidding on the property. Okay. Every single one of them, when it gets down to the last 2 minutes, if you recall from your old training, when they make a bid and an offer in the last 2 minutes, what does it do? It extends it 2 minutes, right?
Sure.
So now we got the feeding frenzy. It always comes down to 2 or 3 people. And it always comes down to those 3 people that absolutely love the home and are going to take it to the maximum amount that they can do. So now, just in that psychology, right? If I'm buying a home and I know it started out with 17 people that were going to make offers on the property, it came down to 3 of us. And I knew that there was somebody right behind me waiting and hoping that I bail out of that property. Do you think I have to worry about an appraisal?
No. The only reason I'm talking the appraisal is, okay, the guy's client.
No. I want you, you're not listening.
The buyer's qualified for 500 grand. Okay, he's looking at this $400,000 house. He bids up the price. The process works. So now you've got your best and highest bid that's out there. Is at 440. But the house appraises at, we'll give the appraiser some room and say they're only appraised for 420.
In the middle. When I have that kind of action on it, on the home, I ain't losing this house. If I got to come up with some more cash because of an appraisal deficiency, I'm going to do it.
Well, we make everybody use an appraisal gap contingency in most offers anyway. Just, maybe that's just kind of common in the last couple of years is we have them add an appraisal gap contingency that just shows if the appraiser comes in low, you're going to make the difference up. We as a listing agent, we have the buyers put that in their contracts because it's competitive. So that one, having that contingency in your buyer contract helps you get your offer in. It also gets the seller's agent to say, oh, okay, good. So if it comes in at 420 and it's 440, you've agreed to put an appraisal gap up to a certain point. They might say, we'll cover the appraisal gap up to 25,000. So there's a 20 difference in 440, but the appraisal gap contingency works really well.
But the other thing is too, even if you don't have that, you still got these people that run. One of the beautiful things is every buyer that's.
So you're saying the next guy, the first guy loses it, doesn't matter. The next person in line.
No. Let's say that the guy that bought it, the home's worth $400,000. The appraisal comes in at $350. Now we got a $50,000 gap, right? That's what you're asking about, right, Peter? Okay.
Yeah. Well, so whatever amount. Simply, there's a space.
Every single person before they make an offer on the property, they submit proof of funds or a pre-qual letter. I call them. I call their agent. In a lot of cases, we will call the bank to find out their cash situation was. But if they see there's hot and heavy action, I know beforehand when they're making bids, if they don't have the cash to cover stuff, and if they think they're going to write a Let's even talk about concession. They ask for a concession. No concessions. No, when it's a hot market and you got 5 people or 15 people fighting over a property, what is a clean offer to you? A clean offer to me is no inspection, waiving the appraisal gap, and closing in 30 days or less.
Robert, I don't want to fight you, but if you waive the appraisal, how does this guy get a loan even though he was qualified for 450 or
They got to
whatever?
have the money to cover the deficiency. And by the way, Peter, it hasn't happened
Okay.
one time out of 400 transactions.
That's
I'm
a
sorry, say that again.
In 400 transactions, it's not ever happened once.
But somewhere this guy's going to find an extra 20 grand that nobody knows about in his back pocket. and
Well,
come up with the
mostly,
cash
you,
difference.
again, it's up to you to talk to him and find out
Yeah.
if he's got it. If he doesn't have it, you know, again, I always get backup offers from every, and they're hoping that that first guy drops out.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So, and
No, I
have
appreciate
them-
what Trevor said
I have
because
them
I've
write
never
their
used
backup
a
offer for
deficiency
the
gap.
amount, same amount. And if that one guy backs out, he doesn't have the cash, I'm sliding right in. But the chances are I'm going to take the one that's got the cash. Remember, seller has the right to accept, negotiate, or deny any offers. So in this case here, if I know the second guy behind me is a cash offer,
Yeah, obviously,
well,
obviously.
I may take him, I may not, but I'm gonna have to write up a backup. But when he writes up a backup, I want him to do it for that last amount that was accepted. When we have people fighting over the property, it's never a problem. Now, let's talk about an appraisal gap if you only had one buyer and your seller accepted that offer.
Okay.
What do you do in that case? In that case now, after the bidding's done right, it just turns into a normal, regular real estate transaction. So when you run into an appraisal gap, running it the old traditional way, you're going to do the same thing with, if you only had one buyer on the site and that's the one that your seller chose, you're going to have to negotiate it out. Make sense?
Yeah.
But it's still
Okay.
these days, I think nobody's getting deals on properties. Even if you only had one buyer, technically that came in, they're probably still writing. If they know what they're writing, they know what the offer is. Their agent's saying to them, "I know what your finances are. You're offering more than what I think it's worth." I'm sure they have that conversation ahead of time. Maybe like the sort of the pre appraisal gap contingency between the agent and the buyer, saying, "Hey, you got to know we're going high, right? You're gonna have to pay some cash. Do you have it? Yes or no?" I think most agents these days, buyers agents, aren't really wasting a lot of time with buyers that can't complete. So I think and I would recommend buyers, hey, you know what, maybe we shouldn't buy this house if you don't have the money to make that gap up. We'd hope so anyway, that they would.
Yeah, don't always remember you're still a real estate agent and you have to do a real estate agent's job. If you got 15 people wanting to buy the property, it's much easier to get out of concessions, much easier to cover appraisal gaps, whatever. But I will say this, we haven't had an appraisal gap happen once.
Okay.
Not once. So that was a great question. So we go back into the addendum.
Yep.
All right. All right. So option number 3. This is what's going to happen. I predict when NAR catches up with everybody. Option number 3 is the seller says, I am going to pay you, Mr. Listing Broker, but I am not paying the buyer's agent one dime. Any questions on that? Because this is what NAR has brought us to. Before a buyer's agent can go show a home, what must they have before they show the home?
Have to have the agreement.
An employment
Buyer
agreement.
broker agreement, right?
Yeah.
And whatever that amount is that you put down on your buyer's broker's agreement, who's paying it?
The buyer.
Buyer. How many buyers have enough money to pay their buying agent on top of down payment, inspections, closing costs, yada, yada, yada? Not a lot, right?
Hmm.
So in this case here, sellers agreed to pay us. Trevor, how much your seller's going to pay you?
6.
Woo. Well, let's pretend they're only going to give you 3. And they say, I am not going to pay your buyer's agent. You tell him to go with his buyer broker again, get his buyer to pay it. Okay. So now they've got a negotiated buyer's premium with their thing. And I'm going to go back to the lady that was renting from us. It was a school teacher in Seattle,
Right.
making a piddly, I think $80,000 a year, and yet the cheapest home that she could buy in the Seattle area is probably close to $1 million. So she decided that she wanted to buy a home about 70, 80 miles out of Seattle. And she wanted to use us for an agent because she knew how good we were. Like I said, she'd been renting for us for 15 years. She was a family friend. And when I had told her, this is right after August 17th, when I had told her, well, geez, I hate to tell you this, but I got to work out a buyer broker agreement with you, which means that you're going to pay me commission. What can you afford? She goes, I can't afford anything. And it's like, well, we got to write something in there. What do you want me to write? And she goes, well, so long story short, it was $900. So I had a great old buyer's broker agreement for $900. So, and let me get one misconception out of the way. All you smart agents out there think I can go ahead and say I'm going to get the seller to pay whatever he's negotiating on the site. And we don't know what that is anymore, right? So we work out our buyer's premium, and now the seller has on us. So we found out the seller is willing to pay 2.5% commission. I have a buyer's broker agreement for $900. I send that as a part of the, if I end up getting the home, my client gets a home, that buyer broker agreement becomes part of the agreement. Seller was willing to pay 2.5%. I have the buyer broker agreement for $900. I'm going to get my $900 and get who's getting the balance of that 2.5%. Anybody know?
The buyer does.
The buyer does. Well, what do you mean the seller's willing to pay 2.5% to me? Yeah, but you were only able to negotiate $900, so that's buyer now gets the rest of that money.
Yep.
Pretty good system, isn't it? So now let's come back to our property. So I've got a home listed on, and I'm going to play split personalities here. So I'm going to play the listing broker, and I'm going to be the buying broker too, with my lady that has a $900 agreement with me. Okay. So here I am. I'm the buying broker, and I'm calling the listing. I'm calling, me, the listing agent, and I want to go show the home. Okay. So yeah, hey, we'll say that the buyer's broker is Robert. The listing broker, me, is Bobbert. So, hey, Bobbert, I want to go show your home out in Dash Point. Oh, great, Robert. Do you have a buyer broker agreement? Yeah, I do. Well, how much is that for? $900. What? I didn't hear you. $900. I can't be understanding you, Robert. How much is it? $900. Oh, well, you're a pretty good salesman, aren't you? So anyway, we have a little bit of fun with it, just like the idiot did with me when I had to send that stupid thing in. So I said, well, if I have a way for your buyer to pay you more of a commission and not having to come out with any money out of pocket by building it into the cost of the home, would your buyer be willing to pay you a more commission? And one of the things that my lady told me, if I didn't have to pay it out of pocket, even that $900 that she was going to give us was going to hurt her for closing costs. She had to go out and borrow it to even give me the $900. So she had told me if there was another way for me to pay that, I would give you the 3%. So I go back into the buyer and I say, hey, I'm going to go show you this home. Remember, you had said if I had a way that you didn't have to come out with any money out of pocket for my commission, that you would do that? Agree to do that? Yeah. Well, we have here, I know you said you would offer me 3% because that's what I'm normally getting, but I'll tell you what I'd like to do is I'm going to do 3%, but I'm going to give you 0.5% of that towards closing costs. So I'm only going to net 2.5 out of it. But the cool thing is you don't have to go with any cash out of hand because we're going to build that into the cost of the home. And she goes, heck yeah, I'll do that. So now I come out before I can make a bid. My buyer's got to sign this and I got to sign it. I'm going to write 3% in here. Okay. Knowing that I'm going to get that, and then I'm going to have my buyer and I'm going to sign this as well. Are there any questions on that right now? So let's pretend we go ahead and now go through the offer process. And let's pretend that we made a $500,000 offer that the seller accepted. Any questions on that? So now we got the home for $500,000. Well, being that I wrote 3% in for that buyer's premium, we're going to add that 3% on top of the price of that $500,000. So now the price of the home when we write the purchase sale agreement is going to be for $515,000. And it's going to work the exact same way as premium number one. Seller's paying me my 3%. The buyer's premium is paying that 3%, and I'm giving her 0.5% towards closing costs. Now we have built that 3% into the cost of the home. Instead of making $900 now, I just made 2.5%. And by the way, I'll show you what protects you guys. And this, if we start looking at the disclosures. Right here. Hey, come on, highlight it for me, buddy. So, both listing and selling brokerages agree this addendum shall supersede any prior oral, written, or implied compensation agreements. By signing below, all parties acknowledge that they have reviewed and understand the information contained herein, and that they fully agree to all terms and conditions set forth in this document. So that $900 buyer brokerage agreement, what just happened to it?
Got thrown into trash.
That goes away, right? That now becomes the new compensation agreement. How you like that?
That's
Trevor,
good.
your wife's an attorney or works for an attorney firm. How would she like it?
She's an attorney. She hates all real estate agents, first of all. So, but no, I mean, it does say it's super. I guess you would look at dates. Would dates matter there? Even though the contract has a later date, so it supersedes all previous.
No, you're signing that contract. It's done. So
Yeah.
let's say you don't. Let's say you make offers on that property and you don't get the property. All right. So if that were to happen,
Is that okay or not?
you got to go and you didn't get the house. You got to redo another buyer broker agreement with them because that addendum just wiped that other one out.
Yeah. Supersede, yeah. She would appreciate that. She'd like the way it was written. She just doesn't like real estate agents. She'd tell us all.
Well, who does? I mean, these idiots that sued the NAR and the NAR to kowtow and bow down and settle those things was a travesty. Again, I'm going to ask you, Trevor, when's the last time you held a gun up to a seller and made him pay you a commission?
Never.
Well,
Never.
There you go. And that was the whole reason that lawsuit happened. Is they were saying that we were price fixing and making them pay. Sorry. That never happened. And I believe the transparency had something to, I believe the transparency part of the NAR settlement actually ended up being pretty good for all of us.
It works well with EZ platform, so we're ahead of the game.
Yeah, Trevor, tell that story to the guy. I know Michael's heard it, but I don't think anybody else has. Tell that story when you went up to that attorney at NAR.
Oh, right. So that was the NAR. They were doing a class in Vermont about that. It was NAR attorney, and I showed him. I had said to him, can we put in right into the back end of the MLS? Can I write to an agreement? Can I put in about this particular thing with this platform? And he's like, I think what he said was, he's like, I don't see any problem with it at all. He's like, there's no one's responsible for a payout. Sellers aren't responsible for a payout. They're getting their fixed rate. And this is a separate thing. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he's like, I have no problem with this at all.
Well, I think your first question was, hey, I got this platform that I'm
Yeah.
certified on, and we are putting it on, and we're using a buyer's premium. And I
The
think
buyer's
he
premium, right.
said, oh yeah, that was great. And then
Right. So
the
that's, I mean, and the same thing when you started talking about it was, that's what we used to do. I mean, after the crash, so like 8, 9, and 10, you had all these auction websites that were selling foreclosures in bulk. And you would go to show the house, and it would be a price, and there'd be a 6% buyer premium added. It was done on a website. You put the bids in on a website, except it was a live bid. The top bid actually won. It wasn't the seller got to choose. The top bid won, but it was a seller premium. So if the price was $100,000, you paid 106. If it was 6% buyer premium, everybody got paid. But that's the way they did it, and those auction companies did it like that. There's a lot of foreclosures next 5 years.
And remember, what separates us is the seller doesn't have to take that highest bid. It's not an auction.
Yes, it's a bidding event, not
But
exactly.
I think the second question was, well, we put it on the site, we're using a buyer's premium. Second thing is that it's 100% transparent, and everybody can go on and make offers and see it in lifetime. The third thing is that when they write the purchase sale agreement, we're building that buyer's premium into the cost of the home.
Just a final sales price on a contract.
And I think his exact words were, if we had that process, we wouldn't be in this
Right. That was
predicament
right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, if that's what it was, we wouldn't be where we are now. Yeah. He thought it was great. And he's an NAR attorney. Like, he was here from NAR. He was going all around doing the tour across the country, doing all the MLSs. Yeah, he thought it was a great idea.
Yeah, and not only that, by the way, we're approved in 5 states right now. We have attorneys backing us.
I'm going to see
So
him
I'm
again on
looking-
Thursday. There's a second NAR meeting in our.
Well, tell them to back us. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get this
Yeah.
industry out of trouble.
I'm going to see
Make
him
sure
on
everybody
Thursday.
gets paid. So that's we've exceeded our allotted time. Does anybody have any questions? Peter, you okay?
No, when we're done with this, can I give you a shout in like 5-10 minutes?
Yeah, give me
Directly
time
on your
to go
direct
do
number?
some on this thing since 7 o'clock this morning, Eastern time. So I need kind of a break too. Esteban, how
Only-
are you?
Only 7 o'clock? I've been up since 4. To
Well,
speak to
good.
the
We're on
East
the same.
Coast at 7.
Yeah, I'm on the East Coast.
Oh, okay.
Esteban, you muted. You want to say anything? Say hi. Haven't seen you in a while. Okay, I guess Esteban just listening in. Trevor, any words of wisdom for all of us?
I don't know about words of wisdom, but we'll see how it goes this week when I get things going on that new listing.
Listen, just go in there proud of what you have.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing for your seller. You're giving them the best representation. Take ownership of this.
Yeah. No, I agree.
If you tell them you're the founder. But I don't get my listings because I am guessing on anything. I know exactly what it does for the consumers.
Yeah, agreed.
I am so passionate. There is nothing that represents the public, the real estate agents, the brokerages than our site.
Yeah. I mean, I've been part of this since a year and a half before the stupid NAR thing. I thought it was great. I thought it was great then. I mean, it made sense then, but then the NAR thing came and it like really put it into light. So it's great to see, because it's good. It's good even when there's no NAR problems. It's good.
Yeah. Michael, any words of wisdom?
Thank you for getting Zishan. Is that how he pronounced his name?
Yes.
My bio is up and happy, and it looks good.
Right on. Shondell, you have anything you want to say? And by the way, you guys, Shondell is going to make phone calls and get listing leads for you guys if you want them for a 25% referral fee. So,
Yeah, we talked about that a few months ago. I'm ready for that too.
Well, we're in the process and getting her trained, and she's got a couple minutes. Shonda, are you there? You want to say anything? And just so you guys know, that the listings that I'm coming to Washington to do, she set up for me. I may sound like I'm the hero, but she's actually the one that set up the appointments for me. For you guys that don't know, we're going to be using Vulcan 7. I had a title company. That's where they're getting all their leads. Sort of, yeah. So anyway, so she's gonna, those of you who want her to make appointments for you, all you gotta do is sign an agreement with all of us, and she'll get on the phone and she'll work for each one of you and get you listing appointments. And by the way, she is damn good, man. Every listing appointment that I go into, I walk out with a listing.
But have you guys connected with Ren at Vulcan 7 yet?
Did we what?
Connect with Ren at Vulcan 7?
Ren, I don't think it was
he's the
Ren
owner.
Trevor,
Ren.
can you set me up with Ren?
Yeah. Ren Jones, he's great. And Jim Chamberlain, who was Shell Boss with me, is the director of education over there now too. He's trainer.
Why don't we hook up?
I
Get
will,
on with everybody.
after this call, I'll message Ren and I'll loop us all in together.
Well, because right now they're not coming across real great. I mean, how long have we been trying to get this set up, Shonda? For 3 weeks?
At least.
So I'm not getting a lot of luck with getting help and getting stuff set up. So
you guys-
if
so
you
you
wouldn't
guys have
mind helping
Vulcan-
me on that.
Yes, you have an account currently set up. You just can't.
No,
can't-
well,
Oh.
yeah, no, I don't know. I'm very confused on what we're doing. So
All right,
I
I'll
think
connect you with a
that's
couple
what
of the right
Robert's
people.
got people for now.
Yeah, I'll send Robert's
Yeah.
people, my people. Robert, I'll send you some people.
So anyway, Shondell,
Yeah,
see that?
actually, just let me take care of it, and you won't have the problem. I'll be able to fix it.
Yeah, but the thing is, you got to have a credit card to fix it.
I'll get you
So,
guys with the right people, and then they'll make it easier. I'll make
That
sure.
sounds
Known Ren-
awesome.
I was one of Vulcan 7's like first 100 customers. I've known Ren for a long time. We've crushed a lot of bottles of red wine
Wait.
together.
Oh, there you go,
uh,
Robert.
there's an
Have him
attorney
fix it.
title agent that is using it to do like this stuff, and it's so. Anyways,
I've used Expireds for years. Expireds, it's great. It's a good platform. The dialer's easy. It's nice. It comes with email addresses a lot of the time. It's a good plan. It's the oldest. It's better than Red X.
Yeah. Well, the people that are using it seem to be having some success. So anyway, that's coming out, you guys. Let me. end it
I'll email you
there.
after this with a connection for Vulcan 7.
I appreciate it. All right, you guys, you're a blessing. Thank you for being a part of our team. Take ownership of this thing and let's get out and make some money. Let me know your training schedules when you get on it.
Bye,
All right.
everybody. Nice to meet all of you.
Yep.
All right.
Good luck to
See
all.
ya.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.